My name is Optimus Prime. We are autonomous robotic organisms from the planet Cybertron. But you can call us...
Autobots are a robotic life form from Cybertron that can transform into other machines, usually vehicles with wheels in order to blend in. But they also sometimes turn into dinosaurs, and boomboxes, microscopes, branded hats, shoes, and old gaming consoles. There doesn't seem to be any rules concerning what they can turn into, but perhaps there should be. Then again, it's also important for them to be able to transform into whatever the market dictates. Their economy is heavily dependent upon sales of merchandise, which directly funds the war they wage against the Decepticons. It's an extremely fragile system that should have failed a long time ago, but they've been able to rake in a lot of money in the past few decades by just selling their likeness. They've even made movies about their exploits, which are mostly fabrications of actual events. But there's an aspect of the Autobots they were able to really nail on the silver screen, and that's all the war crimes that Optimus Prime committed during each campaign. From his mistreatment of POWs to killing enemies who surrender, Optimus Prime proved to be as merciless as he is bloodthirsty. Rules of engagement held no meaning to him, and that's how he earned the moniker Optimus Crime. Either way, the Autobots consider themselves to be benevolent and on the side of good, constantly preaching the freedom of all sentient beings. But how can they preach about freedom when they themselves are trapped within their own ancient traditions? For example, can you believe that they actually choose their leader by inserting a giant Egyptian jewelry inside their chest? What the hell does a robot disco ball know about leadership and what it entails? Can you imagine the riots that would erupt if we suddenly elected world leaders by opening up their chests and putting baseballs inside them? Optimus Prime is the current leader of the Autobots, but what exactly were his qualifications? Sure, he's amassed quite a bit of achievements since assuming leadership, but what about before? What did his resume look like? What made the Space Beach Bowl so sure that he was a leader material? And while we're on the subject, are we meant to assume that the matrix of leadership is absolutely infallible? That it cannot be corrupted or rigged to favor certain outcomes above others? For a civilization that is light years ahead of most other life forms, they seem to operate on the flimsiest, most disco ball-based government structure in the universe. It's any wonder how they were able to last this long when their civilization is heavily dependent upon merchandising and an omniscient orb. Are the Autobots that scared of democracy that they hide behind this mechanical ice cream scoop? Do they fear relinquishing even a modicum of power to the public? Are they that afraid of what it would mean for them if their kind was allowed to exercise their right to vote? They've been waging their war against the Decepticons for far too long. Perhaps it's time for the Autobots to abandon their ways and embrace the democratic process. Perhaps then the public can shoulder some of the blame for incompetent leadership, instead of some bowling ball with circuitries. I'm a bloodstained crowbar, and this has been another episode of Animal Facts. Stay tuned for more factual animal facts. Have a wonderful animal day.